Well, happy Sunday. It's time for the weekend video. Get ready. So today I am going to talk about something that some of you already know about, and that is a letter that a former colleague wrote about Mike Williams and the gospel that we preach. And his name is Jim Richards. He and Mike used to speak together at churches and convention halls, primarily in Canada. Mike actually introduced him to all of these venues in Canada, and they worked together for quite a while. But as Mike started progressing in the gospel, Jim eventually parted ways with Mike. Now, Jim is writing this letter to his supporters, and it's addressed to leaders in the church, or leaders. And it's a very long letter. I printed it out. It's 20 pages long, and I compared the word content to the word content in Paul's letter to the Romans, and it's 50% larger than Paul's letter to the Romans. And so anyway, we have duplicated his letter and posted it at gospelrevolution.com if you choose to read it. And basically, he makes many, many long points as to why he is opposed to the gospel. And so I am not going to address any of those points in this video. I just want to give you an idea of what it's about, so that you know what is coming. We've already done one PowerCast on it. That was this past Thursday, and you can find that at gospelrevolution.com, and where Mike and Barris talk about it, about the letter. And but in the letter, this man doesn't mention Mike by name. Now, he has mentioned Mike by name in a previous video that I myself watched. He did it with a pastor here in Florida whose name I don't remember. And but in his letter, he doesn't mention Mike by name. I think in his mind, he's trying not to bring attention to Mike. So, but he talks about the relationship that he had with Mike, and you can conclude very quickly that he is talking about only one man, and that is Mike Williams. Now, I was impressed when I posted links to Gospel Revolution and that letter on Facebook, and so many of you actually took the time to read the whole thing. And I was also impressed with your comments. And these are my comments too, my overview of comments about the letter. Yes, he is worried that the gospel can undermine the doctrine that they use to hold their church together. He's worried about the control that they lose with that doctrine in bringing in money. And so he argues very much against grace, and even says things against grace that years ago he's actually backtracked on a lot of things that he has said about grace in the process. So, but his sense of urgency that that they stand up against the gospel that we preach, that was encouraging to me, because that just told me we're doing a better job than we thought, because people are hearing the gospel, they're coming to understand grace and the gospel of peace, and they aren't buying the old stuff anymore. And we're happy, because when we bought that old stuff, it made our lives miserable, and we know why it made our lives miserable. So, but if you'd like to read the letter, it is at gospelrevolution.com. And like I said, it is a long letter, But and go ahead and comment on it on Facebook. I've already enjoyed what a half a dozen of you or so have said about the letter and what you thought after reading it. I was also very impressed. A couple of you actually, in reaction to reading the letter, made a donation to gospelrevolution.com, and so thank you very much. But the letter is a challenge to the gospel, and I was really encouraged reading some of these comments of how you could quickly see through his points and where and why they were faulty. And I am totally proud of you guys, and it's revolutionary, and let the revolution continue. Have a revolutionary week.